What's up, YouTube? Bad Sports here. Now, this is a sports channel, so let's talk some sports. Okay, today I want to talk about my favorite sport, boxing, because this great year we're in the middle of is rolling along, and the month of July is everything that we thought it would be. Okay, now there's a lot of disappointment in these two big fights that were supposed to highlight the month. Naoya Inoue, Stephen Fulton, Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, because neither fight went as expected. They both were one-sided beatdowns. Okay, I talked about the Inoue-Fulton fight earlier in the week, after Inoue dominated Fulton and just made him look basic. And I was asking a friend of mine the question, do you think that could happen Saturday in the Crawford-Spence fight? And we were both like, no way. This fight is definitely going to be competitive. Well, lightning struck twice. We got another one-sided beatdown. But I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Let me look at the rest of the card first. The rest of the main card. The first fight was Sergio Garcia against Yoenis Alves. And this was a 10-round fight in the junior middleweight division. Okay. Now, Garcia was a veteran fighter, and Alves was a prospect, making a big step up. Okay. And it was a competitive fight while it lasted, you know. Both fighters had nice jabs. And they threw the jabs, but they stayed in the middle and kind of pounded it out. So Ed had the better jab, and he worked very well behind it. Okay. And he was throwing the more telling and more meaningful punches. Okay. Matter of fact, he had a beautiful jab. Nice footwork. And like I say, it was a competitive fight while it lasted, but Alves scored a third round TKO. Okay. So it didn't last that long. And he improved his record to 6-0 with 5 knockouts, 5 KOs, and Sergio Garcia improves his record to 34-3 with 14 KOs. Okay, 14 stops. Okay. Then the next fight on the main card was the veteran Nonito Donaire against Alejandro Santiago. And this was a WBC, this was for the WBC bantamweight title. Okay. This was one of the titles that Naoya Inoue vacated when he moved up to 122 for his fight with Fulton last week. Okay. This was Donaire's 23rd title fight. Okay. And also the 50th fight of his career. And both of these guys are very good boxers. Okay. But the Donaire has a very dangerous left hook. Packs some power behind it. Okay. And he caught Santiago with that left hook in the third round and cut him over the right eye. But he never had Santiago in any serious trouble. And the cut wasn't in a bad place. And the round ended uneventfully. Okay. And Donaire began to slow down in the second half of the fight. And Santiago began to take over the fight. Okay. And it was a headbutt in the 7th round. They cut Santiago over the left eye. But like the other cut over the right eye, it wasn't in a bad spot. and it didn't cause him any serious problem throughout the fight. Okay. Now in the 9th round, Nonito had a couple of big moments. But Santiago finished up the round strong and cruised from there to a unanimous decision. 115-113, 116-112, and 116-112. Okay. And Santiago raised his record to 28-3 with 5 draws. That's a lot of draws. Okay. And he has 14 knockouts. Okay. And Nonito Donaire record dropped to 42-8, 28 knockouts. And Father Time is still undefeated. Okay. Now Jim Gray asked Nonito in the post-fight interview about his future. Nonito gave all indications that he was going to continue fighting. So we'll see. But anyway, Alejandro Santiago picks up the vacant WBC strap in the bantamweight division. Okay. Now, in the co-main, Isaac Pitbull Cruz took on Giovanni Cabrera. Okay. And after watching that fight, both of these guys are sea level at best. Sea level at best for both fighters. Okay. And this was a lightweight title eliminator. Okay. Now, let's say they sea level because Santiago basically for 12 rounds. And Freddie Roach, his trainer, always had talked negative about runners, but now he's got one. So that shows you how phony he is. Okay. But anyway, Santiago basically ran around the ring for 12 rounds. And Pitbull followed him. Okay. He wasn't able to get him out of there. And Pitbull just followed him around the ring, swinging for the fences, leaving himself wide open, no defensive responsibility at all, lunging. And Cabrera seemed like he had a pretty decent jab, but he didn't use it near enough. He had I think he had a 5-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. Okay. But when he wasn't running around the ring, he was standing right in front of Pitbull, wheeling it out with him. And Pitbull caught him with some pretty nice shots, but Cabrera did show he had a sturdy chin. Okay, because he withstood some solid punches from Pitbull. And Pitbull is a dirty fighter, man. You know. He headbutts. He got points taken for a headbutt. Okay. Then he punches during clinches. He punches on the break. Just a terribly dirty fighter. Okay. But he got the decision. You know, one judge had it 114-113. 2 judges had it 114-113. And 1 judge had it 115-111. And Pitbull needs to stop calling Tank's name. Now, he knew he laid an egg because in his in-ring interview after the fight, he did mention Tank. But sure enough, when he got in the back, Gervonta Tank Davis, Gervonta Tank Davis, Gervonta Tank Davis. Like he does every time he gets near a camera. He's starting to sound like an idiot. My wife said he looks like a Down syndrome baby. I'm starting to believe it, the way he acts. But somebody, his father or somebody on the team needs to tell him, you don't have to call Tank Davis' name every time you get in there a camera, okay? And he knows he can't compete with Tank Davis. He just wants the payday. That's why he wouldn't fight Shakur or Ryan Garcia, because he's afraid he's going to lose and mess up that payday. That's why he fights people like Cabrera, who he thinks he can beat. I said think because he almost lost that one. But and Pitbull is tailor made for Tank. You know, Tank won't have to set traps or anything to lure him into that left hand. Pitbull's going to be standing right there, putting himself in position for the left hand. And the only reason Tank didn't knock him out last time, because he hurt his left hand. But he still beat him in a unanimous decision with one hand. Okay. But there's the crazies that say Pitbull won because he went the distance. Okay. So if you go the distance with Tank Davis, you don't have to outpoint him. You win because you didn't get knocked out, I guess. You know. Those are people that call themselves hardcore fans, but they're really casual. But anyway, Pitbull got the unanimous decision, and he moves on. But nobody wants to see him in a Tank Davis fight. It'd just be a waste of all our time. Okay. But let's move on to the main event. Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. And like I was saying earlier, lightning struck twice. Okay. After the innerweight demolition job on Fulton, you know, most people was no way this is going to happen Saturday. Spence and Crawford is going to be a barn burner, highly competitive battle, brawl. I had to go in 12 rounds, but it was another one-sided beatdown. Man, Crawford knocked him down 3 times. He battered his face. For all those people on Team Spence that was saying he was going to collect, Spence was the eye collector. Well, he got both his eyes collected. That man's face was terrible. And when he said in the Ugas fight, he was looking for his teeth because he didn't want to be a meme. Well, sorry, Earl, you're a meme. Your face is everywhere, battered up like it was. Okay. Crawford just came out from the jump. It was apparent early that it was going to be bad for Earl because. And Crawford didn't come out and do his normal long downloading, you know. I mean, second round, he was putting hands on Spence. He was countering. He was in his rhythm. He had Spence time. And he put him on the mat in the second round with a jab. He caught him in the first round. Plus, okay? It was just terrible, man. And Bud was just too fast. And the thought coming into this fight was Bud shouldn't stand there and trade with Earl. But as this fight went on, the storyline became Earl couldn't stand there and trade with Bud. By the time the fight ended, Earl was backing up. Earl was trying to move. And you knew he couldn't win. Because that's not how he fights. And you're not going to win in the biggest fight of your career, changing the whole way you fight. No way. It was a sure sign that it was over for. Second round, Earl threw a combination. Bud countered with a jab and put him on the mat. And everybody was like, oh, gee. And I knew that was it then. And I had picked Earl to win. But once I saw how easy Bud was hitting him and how hard it was for Earl to score punches, how everything Earl did, Bud had answer for it. He was just dominating, man. Just dominating. Mm-mm-mm. And the worst knockdown was in the second one in the 7th round when he caught Earl with that right. But then it looked like he caught Earl again on the way down. And then in the 9th round, it was getting ready to get ugly. That was an excellent stoppage because Bud is a finisher. He's like a shark with blood in the water, and he was getting ready to get busy. Actually, I think that second round, if it had like 25 to 30 more seconds, Bud might have finished him then. Because at the end, because the knockdown came with about 10 seconds to go, and at the end, with under 5 seconds, Bud had Earl trapped on the ropes, getting ready to start wailing on him, and then the bell rang. But as far as the rematch, that rematch would be worse. Because coming into this first fight, Bud had respect and was wary of the reputation Earl had for the things he had done in the ring. And Bud was cognitive of those things. Going into a second fight, he's not worrying about what Earl has done in the ring because he knows Earl can't do anything with him. So a rematch would be worse. Now, a lot of people are calling for the rematch, okay? And I've been in a few chats, and I've seen these same people that's calling for a rematch before the fight. They were saying Earl's going to dominate Bud so bad that we won't need a rematch. But now, since Bud dominated Earl bad, they want a rematch. So what's the difference? If Earl had dominated Bud so bad that we didn't need a rematch, why do we need a rematch now? That's just fanboydom there. Straight fanboydom, And I was Team Earl, but there's no excuses. Bud is just levels above. There's levels to this. Now, for the people that saying Boots is not ready for Bud, I disagree. Okay. Now, we all knew Earl was a one-dimensional, come forward, pressure fighter with decent feet, just relentless pressure, and would break fighters down. And we thought that would be enough, but now we see it wasn't. But Boots is different. Boots is more versatile than Earl. Boots is more athletic than Earl. Boots has a lot more in the toolbox than Earl. So I give Boots a better chance. Okay. And I would like to see it. It's just a one-sided beatdown, man. And we probably will see a rematch because Earl said he wants it. So 47-54, it'll be the same result. Okay. But it's just way better than Earl Spence, okay, as a boxer. So I don't know where they go from here. Now, I think the rematch will have to be before the end of the year, so we'll see. But I think we probably get it. Because I could see the way Earl was trying during the fight. He kept getting up and he was getting tagged and he kept trying to get in and trying to fight. So he's going to want the rematch. But the same thing will happen to him. But they'll make a lot of money. Okay. I don't think I'll pay for the rematch. Nah. I'll just watch it later. Because it's going to be the same. I think it's going to be worse. But it will stop him sooner in the rematch. Okay. But, we look forward to these two big fights all year, and they both ended up being one-sided beatdown. Now, as far as what's coming up, there's no fights on tap next week. we have Calvin Ford versus Bullet. Tank Davis's manager, Calvin Ford, against Roley's manager, Bullet, at Coppin State College in Baltimore, Maryland, Saturday. I will be in attendance for that. But as far as the regular box, they're gonna have some nice prospects on that card, and I think Jaleel Hackett is on the card. And, some nice prospects. And of course, Jake Paul and Nate Diaz. I don't even know why I mentioned that. I'm not watching. But on August 12th, we have a couple of good fights. That'll be the next big cards. August 12th, I know we have Oscar Valdez and Emmanuel Navarrete from Arizona. I'm picking Navarrete in that one. And also Anthony Joshua and Dillian White from the UK. That's the rematch. Anthony Joshua won the first one. I think that'll be Anthony Joshua's first fight with Derrick James. Okay. And of course, Derrick James will be coming off of this big loss. And then some ignorant people said Earl should fire Derrick James. What kind of crazy shit is that? Okay. There was nothing Derrick James could do. Okay. Earl was just outclassed. And Derrick James was telling him the right thing. He was telling Earl to not stand in front of him, step around, come at him on ankles. But Earl is used to standing right there in front of fighters his whole career and breaking them down. It's hard for him to change that now after all this time. So, that's why he wasn't taking Derrick's advice, because that's not what he's used to doing. And this was his 29th. This was Earl's 29th fight of his career. Yeah. So it's hard to change. And Bud goes to 40-0 with 31 knockouts. And Earl goes to 28 1 for 22 knockouts. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next for these two fighters. Okay. I don't think anybody thought the fight would go this way. I know I didn't. I thought it would be highly competitive. I thought it would be a chess match and then turn into a war, then turn back into a chess match, then turn back into a war. Like a back and forth like that for 12 rounds. I did not know it was going to be a dominating beatdown like it was. And Earl's face just was turning red in the second round. Somebody said that had something to do with that surgery from his accident, causing his face to turn like that so fast. Bud marked him up, but his face was red like that. You don't normally see fighters' faces turn like that from that punch. You see the marks on him and the swelling and stuff. His face was red. It was weird, man. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But I see a rematch being the same way. It's nothing Earl can do to turn that around. Okay. He's just not on Terrence Crawford's level. That's it, that's all. He's just not. But I would like to see Boots and Bud, because I disagree with those people saying that Boots is not ready. It's like I was saying, Boots is more athletic, Boots is more versatile than Earl. Boots has a lot more in the toolbox than Earl, okay? Earl is this come forward pressure, relentless pressure fighter that uses that style to break you down, okay? And when Bud took that jab from him, Earl's whole fight is working behind that heavy jab. And when Bud took that, there's nowhere else for Earl to go. Okay. Boots has more than one way to beat you. Okay. He's versatile. So Bud just can't take one thing away from Boots. And his whole fight, like he did Earl. He took that heavy jab from Earl. Earl had nothing else to turn to. Boots will. I would like to see that. But see, Boots is high risk, low reward, okay? Boots is a risk to Bud to lose all his belts to him. His prestige, his standing. But what does Bud gain by beating Boots? They'll say, well, I told you Boots wasn't ready. After the way he beat Earl, I knew Boots wasn't ready. And blah, blah, blah. Bud will gain absolutely nothing from beating Boots right now. So that's high risk, low reward. Okay. But Earl said he wanted to fight at 154, and Bud said he wouldn't mind having it at 154. But if to go to 154, it won't be for undisputed. Not in the 147-pound division. But Bud can go up there for that one fight and come back down and defend his belt. So he won't necessarily lose by going up for that one fight. Because Canelo did. I don't think Jamel is. And that fight's coming up in September. So we still got a lot of good fights on the schedule for September. And there's a lot of big names out there that potentially can fight, like before the end of this year. Like Gervonta Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Regis Prograis, Vasyl Lomachenko. All these guys fought at a time this year where they can get another fight in. So this year, the end of this year is promising. It can potentially end just as good as it began. Okay. So 2023 has been big. We still got August, September, October, November, December to go. And all these big names I just mentioned can potentially fall in there somewhere. So boxing is in a very good place. And we had another successful weekend go past. In a big month, August coming up, and September, the schedule looks good. Then of course, October, November, December, and a lot of potential good fights and names that can be fighting in those months. So I'm going to stay tuned to see what happens. And on the women's side, we got a potential big fight between Savannah Marshall and Shadeja Green. Of course, Savannah Marshall just became undisputed in the 168-pound division, taking that title from Franchon Cruz. That was the big card that kicked off July, along with Big Baby on July 1st. That card was in the UK. Big Baby's card was in Ohio. Those two cards kicked off the month. So we got potentially Savannah Marshall and Shadeja Green. And after looking at Savannah Marshall and Franchon Cruz, I picked Shadeja to beat either one of them. Whoever had won that fight, Shadeja beats. And I hope she gets the opportunity to fight Savannah. Will the GOAT get another fight in this year? I haven't heard anything, but she fought in June, so she's got time. So like I said, a lot of big names that can potentially get in the ring before this year's over. I'd like to see Boots and Stanionis. Two young lions that's going to be vying for belts. Bud moves 154 and drops them. That's going to be interesting. So a lot of potential good fights, a lot of good storylines going on in the sport that we love, the sweet science. And did anybody notice Adrian Broner after the fight Saturday? You know, they were out talking to people at the venue after the fight was over, and Adrian Broner was walking around like a zombie. And the guy asked him a question what he thought about the fight, and he looked at this guy with this stupid look on his face and just walked off. I think Adrian must have bet a lot of money on Earl or something, because he didn't look too good at all. I was thinking, what's wrong with Adrian? He was looking real crazy. And normally, if you ask Adrian a question, you know, you get a good answer from him. He's going to give a good interview because he likes to talk, and he has the gift of gab, but he didn't say anything. He looked at the guy like he didn't even. I mean, he had to hear him because he was standing right next to him, but he looked at the guy like what he said to him didn't register. And he had a blank look on his face, and he just walked off like he was ambling, like he really didn't have anywhere to go, and like he was in a trance, like a zombie. So Adrian must have bet the farm on Spence. That's why they say when you bet, only a bet as much as you can afford to lose, okay? Because it's called gambling for a reason. Why it's called gambling? Because no bet is a sure thing, okay? Some bets may be close to sure things, but no bet is a sure thing. A lot of people thought it was a sure thing that this was going to be a tight, highly competitive fight this week. both fights. They thought Inoue and Fulton was going to be close, highly competitive. Both fights were one-sided beatdowns. So that's why, again, when you bet, they say only bet as much as you can afford to lose. Because it's called gambling. And when you gamble, you can win or you can lose. And Adrian must have bit off more than he could chew in that bet. Because the brother was looking bad, man. Like he lost his best friend. That almighty dollar. That's a lot of people's best friend. Especially when you lose a lot of it on a boxing match. Gone, just like that. I don't gamble like that anyway. I may play the lottery every now and then or something. But as far as making these big, huge bets on boxing matches, nah, that's not me. I'd rather keep what I got. And then, as corrupt as boxing is, oh no. I'm not betting no hundreds or thousands of dollars on boxing. And then they mess around and do some okey doke shit. And you know you should have won. And you lose your money like that. Like suppose you had bet $1,000 on Barroso to beat Rolly. And they robbed him like that. So they robbed you of your money too. Oh, hell no. That's why. If I was going to bet big on a sport, boxing would be the last one. Yes, it would. Boxing would be the last one. Boxing cannot be trusted. Boxing cannot be trusted. Okay. But anyway, that's all I have right now. The big fight is over. Crawford won in total domination. I don't think we need a rematch. And if it is a rematch, I'm certainly not paying no $90-something for no pay-per-view for it. Okay. I paid for the first one. And this would have been a highly competitive 12-round split decision or something like that. I would pay $90 for the second one. But this was a one-sided beatdown. The cable company gets nothing from me for a rematch. But anyway, anyone come in and watch the replay of this live, hit the like button for me, please. And if it's not too much trouble, subscribe to my little channel. And hey, thanks for watching.